Is your main activity walking, laying and sitting down, and standing up? If so, your hip health may be declining. My what is declining? Your hip health. Your hips are strong structures that were meant for incredible range of motion. The muscles and tendons around your hips are meant to be used in many ways to provide stability and everyday function. Your hip is a ball and socket joint, like your shoulder. The ball is the top of your thigh, or the head of the femur. Without strength, flexibility, and stabilization, it's like a wobbly wheel that wants to fall out. As we age, one of our fears literally is the fear of falling. Last year, there were over 250,000 hip fractures in the United States, resulting in healthcare expenditures of over $1.25 billion. Quality of life declines, and the body symbolism implies that we aren't able to stand on our own or able to stand up for ourselves. Tight hips can create tight hamstrings, lower back pain, and other problems like sciatica. I'd like to show you some things that you can do to increase the range of motion, open the hips, stretch out the hip flexors, which is good to do after you've been sitting all day, and create more stability and strength and balance. When's the last time you sat like this? If this is difficult, you might want to take a pillow or a blanket and just tuck it underneath you and sit on that. It helps lift you up and open your hips a bit more. Eventually, see if you can bring the heels closer to each other or even the soles of the feet to one another. Again, you're going to start to open up the hip sockets a bit. Then, either on the floor or in your bed, go ahead and lay down, rolling down one vertebrae at a time slowly. You can go back to putting the soles of your feet together, again to let the hips open. And also take the knees and open them wide, open your feet wide, and just let your knees gently float from one side to the other. This is going to stretch out the hip flexor, help open up the lower back, and relieve some stress that you might have accumulated. Remember to breathe. Go as slow and as fast as feels comfortable for you. So just go at your own pace. Another great hip opener is to take the ankle and rest it on the other knee. Then lift the foot up off the floor of the bed and hold on to the leg wherever it feels comfortable. What you want is you want to feel a nice stretch through the gluteal muscles as well as maybe the inner thigh, opening up the hip socket, but not to the point where you would feel injured or where it hurts too much. Do that on both legs, of course. When you're done, if you're in a bed, roll to the side, let your feet swing off the bed, or if you're on the floor, just simply push yourself up into a seated position. Then roll over onto all fours and coming up gently, support yourself with one leg and roll up one vertebrae at a time again. In yoga, there's a wonderful hip stretch called triangle. Open your feet wider than your hips. Take a nice deep breath in. Use one hand on your thigh to support your back and press the other hip in the opposite direction. Take a nice deep breath, place your head wherever it feels comfortable, and come back out of it. You can also do this with your feet together or slightly held apart. Again, support your back by placing one hand on your leg. Inhale, and then press the hip out to the side. A great rotation for your hips is to hold onto a chair or a wall for balance and just simply pick up the knee and move it around in a circle. This increases range of motion. You can do it in both directions. And of course, do both legs. So choose one or two of these exercises that I've showed you, ones that you could definitely feel, and practice them a few minutes each day. Anything you do matters. I'm Barb Bartolotti, wishing you good health and happy hips.